Welcome to a special episode of the Tig Roo Show. You know who we are. And if you don't,
what have you been watching?
Then there's a thing popping up right here that says who I am. And then there's going to be a thing popping up just about right here that says who she is. Now, soundtracks. Now, being a fan of movies, we all know that there's a lot of different factors that make a movie great. There is the writing, there's the acting, there is the directing. Of course, there's the other technical fields like special effects and the Foleys, which editing and stunt people, which is all very important. Not only do they get Oscar categories, except for stunt people. Stunt people should get an Oscar category. But all of those are good supporting systems after a movie is made. And of course, there's people that do previs before a movie is made. But, you know, what we see as an audience... What? What?
Keep talking.
I will keep talking. Thank you. So what we enjoy as the audience is basically what we see get put on the screen. Visually, of course, what we can go by is the acting, the directing. If you really pay attention, the directing. Me, sometimes it's the writing. And of course, what you also hear, which can really make a movie exciting. If you ever watch a movie without the actual music, it feels weird.
It just feels awkward.
Unless it's meant to not have music.
But it feels like your life.
But
and
you still
that's
have,
why it's weird.
Yeah, but you still have sound editing. You still have background noise and all that stuff. But a lot of times the music itself can really elevate the film and make it that much more exciting to watch or even just listen to. So there's a lot of soundtracks out there that really help to... help you to relive the movie in your head or just gets excited to where you want to watch the movie again. I mean,
I've already got my lineup.
Oh, cool. So
I need to make a plan, but I have my lineup.
So obviously there's two types of, well, technically there's three types of soundtracks. There is the soundtrack of the score that's composed by like John Williams or
Michael Giacchino,
James Horner,
Alexandre Desplat, however you say his name.
Yeah, or then you have
like an actual playlist
of
like songs formulated for the movie.
Yeah, like the Breakfast Club. They have actual...
Or like the album Almost Alice for the 2010 Tim Burton Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah, I mean, these are just...
Which I was obsessed with when I was a kid.
These are songs that get played on the radio, and they're compiled into a soundtrack, and they get played in the movie.
12 years ago.
What?
What?
Oh.
10 years ago.
What movie are you talking about?
Alice in Wonderland. I think it was 2010.
I think it was 2000.
Pretty sure, yeah. So about 10 years ago.
Yeah. And
so I was a kid.
So, yeah, these act like a playlist that gets put into the movie to,
either put into the movie or just...
To make it more exciting or to convey a feeling. You know, John Hughes has a lot of movies that do that. Whether it's Some Kind of Wonderful or whether it's Home Alone, Uncle Buck. Breakfast Club is a perfect example. I would even probably say Ferris Bueller Days Off is a perfect example, too.
If we're going to jump outside of John Hughes, we would say Guardians of the Galaxy, Volume 1 and 2.
Guardians of the Galaxy. Yep, mixtape.
Mm-hmm. The awesome mixtape, Volume 1 and then Volume 2. I own Volume 2 on the vinyl.
And then you have soundtracks that are...
Which also came with the other...
What they like to say, inspired by the movie. There are a lot of songs that are not in the movie. Maybe one or two are, and the rest are just created for the soundtrack. Men in Black is like that.
So then in that case, it would be Almost Alice, because I'm pretty sure none of those songs actually appeared.
Men in Black was like that because Will Smith found out there wasn't going to be a soundtrack for the movie, and he said, I'll do it. And so he came up with the Men in Black song, and the rest of it was just added songs for the soundtrack. I guess that share the same concept and feeling that the movie would present. Or Suicide Squad is...
Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squires. They're in training.
Suicide Squad is very similar to that too. Which I think maybe one or two songs were actually in the movie. Heathens is at the end.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And
I used to be obsessed with
I want to say Pink Cadillac was probably in the movie too.
I'm pretty sure there was the...
Or Pink Limousine or whatever. Pink Lamborghini. Purple Lamborghini? I don't know what the hell that song was called, but...
Ray from Cars? His name wasn't Ray. Raymond? Ramon!
From Cars?
Yeah, the purple whatever he was. The spray paint.
What was he? A Fiat? No.
He was like a lowrider.
Oh, that one. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
he was a lowrider. That one. I don't know. I don't know cars. I don't know
me
cars.
neither.
Maybe he was an Impala. I don't know. So that's what we're talking about today. I have a list of my favorite soundtracks.
I mean, of course, there are in between, like Spider-Verse. Half of them were just made for the movie, and then half of them were put into the movie. Half of them, half and half and half.
Yeah, I think it's really up to the music editor to figure out what songs are going to be in there, and also the director. Because sometimes what they like to do is they like to take pre-existing songs from other movies and put it in a rough cut.
He's a Chevy Impala. 1959 Chevy Impala
Look at
Lowrider.
me.
We're both. Look at us.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know cars, but
We don't know cars, but
we
we
know
know
words.
something.
we know words.
We do it, and we do it well.
Anyway, Spider-Verse. Very
Yeah.
good.
So
We watched that the other day.
sometimes they'll take
It's really-
music from other movies, probably from the same composer, and they'll put it in a rough cut as a placement for like viewing and testing, so they know what feeling they're going for.
While
I
we're
remember.
on track for Spider-Verse, I just need to say, the theme for the Prowler, iconic.
Yeah, we.
Incredible.
Rue was re-watching Spider-Verse just yesterday.
Yeah, I was thinking about watching Homecoming too, and then I blinked.
And I watched half of it, half towards, and then from halfway point onward, and
But the
I
Prowler
forgot.
always gets my anxiety rising.
I forgot how much I love that movie.
It's so good.
And the music is great too.
My favorite scene, I think it's everyone's favorite scene, but it's when Miles finally takes a leap of faith, and the music, "What's Up, Danger," and then it's just going upside down.
Which is funny because I only like the song when
In
it's
the movie?
playing in that moment in the movie.
It's on several of my playlists, and
So-
they play in my car, and I can tell he does not vibe.
When I play the song by itself, when I'm listening to music wherever I am, whether it's in the car, whether I'm reading, whether I'm hanging upside down, I don't have that same feeling. It's weird. So that's a really good soundtrack. And then I have a list of soundtracks that are not necessarily my favorite, but I consider them to probably be the best soundtrack out there. I want to say, we might have to look this up. I want to say that the best selling movie soundtrack of all time, I think it was Purple Rain. I hate Purple Rain. I've seen the movie in the theater, and I think I saw it twice.
The first one that popped up was Purple Rain. Then it was Dirty Dancing, The Bodyguard, Titanic, A Star Is Born, which I never saw and I never cared about. Grease, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Black Panther?
Yeah, I don't get that one.
I don't either.
I don't
didn't
get that
like the
one.
music.
It's not memorable to me.
Like, it was good, but outside of the movie, I did not remember it existed. We watched that the other day.
Yes, we did.
Waiting to Exhale, Flashdance, Footloose, West Side Story, High School Musical,
Yeah, they're all really solid soundtracks.
Forrest Gump, The Crow, and Mary Poppins.
I wouldn't listen to most of them. I would not listen to Waiting to Excel. I would not listen to The Crow. I have the Forrest Gump soundtrack. It really is a
I was
compilation.
obsessed with High School Musical.
Forrest Gump is really a compilation of 60s and 70s music as he's traveling, through the movie.
Running through his...
Yeah, so it's got Beach Boys, it's got Clarence Clearwater, so it's basically an anthology of 60s music, really, and it's on 2 discs. I think it has like 68 songs on there.
I mean, this is just Google, so I'm looking at an article that's stating some different.
So basically, as close as I am, I'm pretty much right. Purple Rain is the best-selling movie soundtrack there ever was.
I don't know.
And
Because I'm
if
still
you
looking at it, and
basically what it is a Prince album. It's really what it is.
it says it was Bodyguard. It says, make no mistake, The Bodyguard has the biggest selling soundtrack of all time, and an estimate 42 million copies sold worldwide because of Whitney Houston's peerless recording of Dolly Parton's I Will Always Love You. This is according to Vulture in 2018.
I don't know. I want to contest that. I think it's Purple Rain. I don't like Prince.
And then another one saying The Bodyguard.
I will defend Purple Rain because, like I said, it's just a Prince. It's a Prince album. And I think it's the best-selling Prince album there was. Maybe 1999 was, I'm not sure. But, I mean, if you love Prince, basically he just took an album and turned it into a movie, or he did both at the same time. I'm assuming he did both at the same time. Because he owns a club or he's in the band. And
everyone is saying The Bodyguard.
Well, then they can kiss my grits.
Just saying, I said it.
Okay,
right
well then it's The Bodyguard. But then Purple
Speaking
Rain
of
is
grits,
probably...
you know what's a great movie? My Cousin Vinny. Anyway.
It is. It's a good movie.
We're not talking about that. I don't
It's
even
a
remember
classic.
most of the soundtrack, but Karate Kid.
Yeah, I have it actually. I have that soundtrack. Yeah.
The what?
So there you go. There you go. So I have as kind of like honorable mentions, iconic themes. The entire soundtrack of these particular movies are not like stellar good, where every track is a fantastic piece of music that you just want to listen to all the time. But they have iconic themes that you just can't dispute or are just the best ever written, really. And of course, your mind probably goes to John Williams.
Oh, yeah.
John Williams has tons of iconic themes, but some of his soundtracks, in my opinion, are not really soundtracks that you can just put in and listen to all the time. Case in point, I would probably say Star Wars The Last Jedi. I've only listened to that soundtrack, I think, maybe 3 times.
Wait, what are we talking about?
Movie soundtracks. Or just soundtracks in general.
Okay.
I'm going over like iconic themes
okay.
that are part of a soundtrack.
I just need to make sure we weren't losing track because I was confused.
But the soundtrack itself may not be incredibly good, but the theme, like 1 or 2 themes, really makes the movie.
They hit. Yeah.
Right, and John Williams does a lot of that. He does great themes, but the soundtrack itself may not be something you want to listen to all the time.
It's kind of
like The Last Jedi. I can't really listen to that soundtrack all the time. I think I've only listened to it 2 or 3 times. And similarly, the Rise of Skywalker, I think I've only listened to 2 or 3 times.
All I remember is Kylo's theme being inverted to be good.
So, like Raiders of the Lost Ark, you can't dispute Indiana Jones' theme. Back to the Future, Alan Silvestri. Iconic theme, but again, it's not like you want to listen to the entire soundtrack.
He also did Captain America.
Even with Alan Silvestri, Forrest Gump, the score, there's like a couple of themes in there that are really good, but the rest is kind of like, okay, it's just mood music, really. Again, with John Williams, the Superman theme. I mean, he's got tons. E.T. theme, he's got Jurassic Park. I would say more than half of the Jurassic Park soundtrack is really, really good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Jurassic Park in general just hits.
So those are my honorable mentions. But, so I have a list of a few.
Oh, so you did actually make a list.
Yeah, and let me just get John Williams out of the way. I think by listing these 3 movies of his, pretty much says it all. Star Wars.
Which one?
I hate that question. Which one?
You're talking about A New Hope, right?
People of my generation, when I say Star Wars, which one am I obviously talking about?
A New Hope.
Wow, is this what Dora feels like?
Is this what Captain Oso feels like?
Is this what Mickey and Mickey Mouse Clubhouse feel like? Which one of these tools are we going to use?
Oh, Toodles!
Right! Okay, what? Where, Sniper? In the fucking bushes?
You don't fucking say!
Oh, miro!
Shut up! You lying!
Es que no
You lying. Show
importa!
me your purse!
We gotta
Show
kick
me your
his
purse.
ass!
Yo, do you have $1? So I can buy a slushie.
You
fucking lying.
What?
I'm talking about a TikTok.
Oh, okay.
I just got
that
vibe.
got weird for me.
So like a blind slushy.
Okay.
You fucking lying. Open your purse. Open your purse.
So in my generation,
I'm not good, but it's
okay.
fine.
This is the order: Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi.
So I was correct.
Okay, we don't call it Star Wars: The Empire Strikes Back or Star Wars: Return of the Jedi. We don't even say Episode 5 or Episode 6 or Episode 4. We don't even say New Hope. It's just Star Wars. It's just Star Wars. Even though, ironically, I did write down Star Wars: The Empire Strikes Back.
Oh, so you... So you were talking about The Empire Strikes Back?
So, Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, and The Force Awakens are, in the Star Wars franchise, in my opinion, those are the three
We just went through all
best
of that.
John Williams scores. I can listen to the entire
So Star
soundtrack.
Wars, Empire Strikes Back, and then Force Awakens.
I can listen to the entire
Yes,
soundtrack.
yes. I just had
I would
Ray's theme in my head.
I would-
and then you said Star Wars, and I went...
I would technically count the Phantom Menace, but I'm not going to. I'm not going
Tough
to.
shit.
The Battle of Hoth is a masterpiece. It really is. You got this like rolling keys on the piano when the AT-ATs are coming.
God, I love that stage.
So I mean, it's just great. And then you got Yoda's theme, and you got Han and Leia theme, and then you got the end credits. The end credits is a masterpiece as well. So that's John Williams, and I think that's all the John Williams I have here on my list. So what do you got?
What?
What do you got?
Oh, I didn't.
What's okay then? What soundtracks?
Because you told me like a week ago.
Yeah, a week ago.
No, you didn't.
I did.
That's the joke.
Wait, okay, maybe it was 5 days ago. when I
No,
came
that's
up
the
with
joke.
idea.
You never told me to make a list.
Well, I thought maybe you would prepare, like,
No,
what
because I didn't know the
soundtracks.
topic.
I texted you the topic, like, on Thursday. I said, how about movie soundtracks? And you went,
Okay, here's the thing
Yeah!
though. You mentioned Lemonade Mouth
And then I
Hamilton,
said-
and then I went insane.
and then I said the next week we'll do Hamilton. See?
See, this was last Wednesday.
See? Now that Father's Day is
It is
over,
Monday.
now that Father's Day is over, they don't give a crap.
I never
See
did.
how they treat me? See?
Okay, well, I think it's obvious that I'm gonna say Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Okay.
Because I can listen to that on repeat all day, every day. Michael Giacchino, I love your titles.
He's a genius.
I love your titles.
I want to say...
Monumental Meltdown?
Mhm.
Great.
Yep.
Ned to No Basis? Incredible. Brain Rot!
What
You
I
didn't
like
make that
about
one, but I
what I
did.
like about Michael Giacchino, and I think we've said this before. If
Probably.
not, then we're gonna say it again. Is that I want to say almost every movie he writes a score for, he has these really clever puns, these spins on the titles. I have Star Trek. I would put The Incredibles on there, but The Incredibles theme song is, to me, is the most iconic out of everything that else is on there. And it's got a 60s vibe because it's got this, 1960s vibe about the entire movie. And then, if you know anything about music, it's actually recorded in analog to have that 1960s almost James Bond thrill kind of sound to it. And then the Dash's run when he's running on the water, when he looks down and laughs. And then the horns kick in.
I love that little
The
kid's
bombastic.
laugh.
Yeah. So those are my favorite two
I'm losing my
parts of the soundtrack, and of course the end titles. So I would really love to put The Incredibles on there,
But other than those moments,
but I would rather add Michael Giacchino's iconic songs
I do love The Incredibles.
to the iconic themes of other various artists. James Horner with Titanic, or even with Aliens, even Avatar. Michael Giacchino with
all that CGI.
Up.
Wait,
Spider-Man.
who did Up?
Michael Giacchino.
Up.
Yeah. He also did Mission Impossible
It's fine, I'm a
3
big
and
fan.
4. So, he's just fantastic, and he did video games as well. I think he did Call of Duty, Medal of Honor. I know he did Medal of Honor. I'm not sure about Call of Duty, but just check out his discography. I mean, he's got some really great stuff.
Love that man.
So, in recent years, well, not recent years, but in the recent Star Trek franchise, he did Star Trek, which I can listen to nonstop. I can also listen to Star Trek Into Darkness nonstop as well. Star Trek Beyond, not so much. Star Trek Beyond was more lighthearted, but what I like about some of these artists we've named, especially Michael Giacchino, is that he really knows how to add the excitement to the score, so it elevates again the feeling of excitement or sadness or happiness or joy when you're watching the movie, and then when you listen to his music, it's like you're watching the movie all over again, except for you're not watching the movie.
Some days I look at myself and I go, I'm gonna learn music theory, and then I don't.
And then you don't. So a lot of these soundtracks do that. They make you more excited about the movie. You're kind of reliving the movie in your head. Or it just makes you feel good just listening to, the scores or the soundtracks. So, and some of them kind of want to make you dance a little bit.
I wanted to name one that just got me hyped, but I don't remember. Definitely Homecoming, but I feel like there was...
These are the kind of songs sometimes, if it's just a musical score, that just gets you really happy. Like, when that first note hits in Star Wars.
That would be me with Force Awakens. And
when you're watching the movie in the theater and people cheer, that's the kind of excitement. Yeah.
Turn off the flash, moron. Have you seen that video?
No.
Well, it's great.
So, that's the kind of excitement that this music invokes. One of my biggest problems with Black Lightning is that I feel like the music doesn't match the footage of the film.
Oh my god! You know what I could talk...
Did you just remember the idea from 2 episodes ago?
No. No. A Marriage Story.
Oh, okay. That sounds like it's...
A Marriage Story.
That sounds like Toy Story?
Yeah.
Or Bug's Life? Randy Newman? Was it Randy Newman? Did we
Oh, was it?
Did we find out? I don't think we found out if it was Randy Newman. This is our episodically... What am I trying to say?
We just do this all the time. This is just me.
Every episode has a Google search. I like to use Bing, so we'll sponsor either one.
This is where I go back to saying I don't like Adam Driver.
And
you know what? Scarlett Johansson is kind of... It is Randy Newman.
Oh, okay. There you go.
That's why it's Toy Story.
There you go.
Anyway, it's bad.
I don't think she liked it.
I didn't like it.
I don't think she liked it.
It just made me angry, which I guess is the point of it. But it just seemed pointless.
What movie soundtracks gets you jazzed up, gets you excited? Get you excited.
Lemonade Mouth.
Lemonade Mouth. That soundtrack makes you want to get up and dance.
God, yes.
Or sing. Or sing and dance.
And play guitar.
It makes you want to boogie. It makes you want to just like shimmy and like...
A goofy movie.
Do things that you didn't think your body can do because you have like arthritis in your hips or something. So Lemonade Mouth is strong. Yeah. Goofy movie.
I was just talking about it.
Yeah, I like Goofy movie.
Very good. I feel like I'd have to look through our Amazon Music.
Yeah, I have Lemonade Mouth listed here as well.
Aww.
Yeah.
Look at us.
Yeah, I was listening to it I think 2 days ago.
I've indoctrinated him.
She has. And then I'm going to indoctrinate you with Footloose.
Okay.
From the old movie, not the new one.
You think I've seen the new one?
Yeah, I think you have.
No, I haven't.
I think you have.
Nope.
I think you have.
Nope.
I've seen it.
I just knew the soundtrack. I liked the slow version of I Need a Hero.
Yeah, that was probably the only good song that came out of there. I didn't like the Blake Shelton version of Footloose. I like the Kenny Loggins version of it.
Kenny Loggins.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Footloose has some really great songs on there, including Footloose, including I Need a Hero, and Almost Paradise.
Here's the thing about Footloose. I don't like it on stage.
I was listening to the Broadway
That's a
soundtrack,
movie.
and it's terrible.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's terrible because it has a lot of dialogue in there, and I'm like, who wrote this crap?
It's a movie. It's not a musical.
It's stupid.
It's not a musical.
It shouldn't be a musical at all. At all!
I've never actually seen it.
I haven't either.
Like, I've not watched a bootleg of it, but I just can't understand how you're gonna make a musical about not being able to dance
2 years ago,
in
I
a
was.
town, and you're gonna make it work.
2 years ago, I was interested in directing the musical, and I wanted to get the script. I wanted to listen to the soundtrack. Now that I've listened to the soundtrack, I'm like, oh, that's terrible.
Yeah.
That is terrible. Very, very bad.
I feel like there was another movie
Bad soundtrack.
that went to
Bad soundtrack. Sit.
Grease.
What about it?
Bad.
I don't like Grease.
Bad.
Grease can just be ungreased.
Bad. Give me some
Put
Dawn
put
soap
some
to
Dawn
wipe
in
away
there
that grease.
and wash out that pan because
Elbow grease.
that chicken grease needs to go down the drain. It's got like 1 or 2 songs in there that makes you want to kill yourself.
For me, it's all of them.
And if you're in a choir...
I guess I can stand Summer Nights. I guess.
Yeah. And if you end up in a choir in high school, you're going to end up singing at least 2 of those songs.
Yeah.
And one of them is always going to be We Go Together. And then you can do the... And then you get to do this.
I just don't like the story, but the music just pisses me off.
They're both bad.
Yeah.
But what are you going to do? What are you going to do?
Cry about it.
But everybody wants to do Grease in high school.
And it's shitty.
We should do a musical. Okay, which one? How about Grease? No. How about Leader of the Pack? How about Rock of Ages?
Rock of Ages is not good.
Well, anything's better than Grease.
Fair.
That's what I'm saying.
Grease, Footloose, Rock of Ages.
So I've got 3 more albums on my list.
Okay.
And I'm going to start with The Lion King. There's only one song on The Lion King that I actually really don't care much to listen to.
It better not be prepared.
No, that song
Thank
is
God.
great. That
It's
song is great.
incredible. I love
It's
it.
I Can't Wait to Be King.
What?
Yeah, that one just bores me. It bores me.
I love that song.
But the moment the
I mean,
movie
it's
opens,
valid. It's fair. It's fair. I can understand why. It's
Yeah.
kind of. It seems like a song that should be a lot more powerful and faster than it is.
it's not as epic as Circle of Life. It's
yeah.
not as enduring as Can You Feel the Love Tonight? Okay, so it just feels like it kind of got thrown in a little bit.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be fun and light and carefree,
But also, it kind of should serve to add more character depth.
but beyond
Because
the
it doesn't move the story forward, and it doesn't.
it
doesn't give character development. It doesn't give.
all it really does to
Setting.
serve the plot is a diversionary tactic, so they can. I sure hope that does not pop up on the recording.
It shouldn't, because it's recording us, not the screen.
Well,
We're getting notifications.
yeah, I'm getting notifications. So
Because we record on our.
so hold on, I'm gonna read it in Braille. Hold on. My screen is dirty. I gotta wash my
It's not
screen.
a joke that should be made.
What? The blind people are not gonna see this.
I don't want to be here anymore.
Well, I got blind friends. Okay, it's fine. Actually, I don't know anybody who's blind.
It's a topic for another time.
I'd like to apologize to all the small people. Oh God, I think I just made it worse. I think I just made it worse.
Why?
Okay.
Why?
Well.
Why? Anyway.
I'm sorry, Mama.
We could always edit that out.
I'm not going to. I probably should.
Anyway, The Lion King.
But beyond the awesome music by Elton John and Tim Rice, you have Hans Zimmer. You got Hans Zimmer in there.
For
The score.
Oh, he did Lion King?
He wrote the
Oh,
score.
I thought you were about to start talking
Yeah.
about Dawn of Justice.
You can recognize early Hans Zimmer stuff because I'm not saying they sound the same, but he's got a certain style, just like Danny Elfman has a style. You can recognize it right away. So, like Crimson Tide and The Rock and Lion King all have this interesting rhythmic percussion, exciting music happening, as well as like Interstellar and Inception. They're very similar in terms of
very good.
very similar in terms of style, but it's also handcrafted for Christopher Nolan, which has his own style. So they're very similar, but he's got some really good, exciting music. And then when he took over for Pirates of the Caribbean, it was a departure from the first movie because he didn't write the music for the first movie. His, I guess you could say, protege did. Klaus
Beckham.
Bedalt or something like that. And then he took over. I think he helped co-wrote the theme, the Jack Sparrow theme. So I think then he took over and
Is
and
the
did
Jack
most of
Sparrow
that.
theme the or is that just Pirates of the Caribbean?
Well, technically the song is called He's a Pirate. So technically
I guess
it's
it could be Jack Sparrow.
dun 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 dun.
I hate the way you said that.
What?
You went dun dun
Dun,
dun
dun,
dun.
dun.
No, it's dun 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 dun.
Look. Except for the blind people. Look, all you need to know is the melody. I'm not going to get into the
Dun
finesse.
dun 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 dun. No one's gonna know.
Dun dun dun
No.
dun 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 dun.
See, you just did it there. Da 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 da. Because it's
You didn't
vital.
let me get to that
It's
part.
vital. If you just did it from the start, we wouldn't have this conversation.
Me and the blind people are just going to go take our business elsewhere if you don't stop.
This is only to you.
Mm-mm.
You can't see it.
But they can feel
And
it.
I respect.
They're
blind
psychic.
people. Stop talking.
Okay. Apparently, psychic people offend her. Moving on. So, The Lion King has some really important, really exciting music in there, especially Shadowlands, and when the Broadway.
I'm trying to see what this does. Evidently nothing.
doesn't do much of anything. The Broadway soundtrack as well.
Yeah.
With the Shadowland actual song, and you create an earthquake on the camera. It's
Cause
fun.
you make my earthquake.
Ooh.
I don't know the true intentions of that song.
Neither do I.
Don't come at me.
Rue just added The Mandalorian to the list, and considering that there are 8 different soundtracks, I'm not really sure if its entirety
Yeah.
is fantastic. But if you happen to like,
It's just epic.
if you
Like by the textbook definition of epic, it's epic.
it is epic. If you have Disney Plus and you've been watching the Disney Gallery of The Mandalorian, when they do the behind the scenes for the score, despite the fact that I was the most excited about that particular segment, and that was the most boring of them all, I was kind of disappointed. But they did
I mean,
show.
you can't really expect.
Yeah,
You can't really expect.
No, you can't. You can't. Most of the documentaries I view on the composers and how they-
Composers! You can't really expect composers to be good on screen.
right, and that proves my point. Well, it goes to my point I'm about to say, is that a lot of the documentaries I watch and when they start talking about the score and the composing, the composers are usually not that interesting to listen to.
Spider-Man.
But the directors and producers, they talk about it with excitement. The composers are just kind of like, yeah, and then, I did this, and I had this instrument, and I practiced this, and I tried this, and then I did this, and then this. They don't appreciate their genius as much as the directors and producers. They're a little bit more humble about what they do.
Probably because they don't get a lot of praise for it in general.
Right. I agree.
They don't get as much credit, literally.
So the composer Ludwig Göransson is the same person who did Black Panther, which surprised me because I thought the soundtrack for Black Panther was not all that exciting.
I'm sure if we actually took the time to listen to it without watching the movie, it would be good.
Yeah.
But I need to, what's his name?
Ludwig Göransson.
I got him.
My final two soundtracks is...
Okay, yes. Considering that he's not actually black, I feel like he doesn't have the correct tone for Black Panther in the first place.
He might be trained in the world...
he's Swedish.
Yeah, he might be trained in the world genre, the international music genre, whatever that is. So.
I don't know. I don't know any of the guy's backgrounds. He probably has mountains of credits.
He probably studied African music. I mean, who knows?
He probably lived in Africa for a while. Yeah. We don't know.
I mean, John Williams is classically trained.
Something about Black Panther just
there's something right. Adding that to...
I feel like there could have been a better opportunity there.
Yeah, so...
But he did great for Mandalorian. I love the Mandalorian score.
Sometimes how it works is that you have a filmmaker that you're a friend with and they bring you onto the project. Other times it's like, can you write me a piece of music?
Considering I just saw a photo of him and Donald Glover.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes.
So sometimes it's like, this is somebody I've worked with before. I'm going to bring him in, see if he can write the music, and if you like it, you move forward.
Creed 1 and 2. He did the Rocky franchise. And
yeah. So, for instance, The Lord of the Rings. Howard Shore wrote the music for the trilogy, and he also did The Hobbit. And when Peter Jackson did King Kong, Howard Shore was writing the music, and I guess they didn't like it, so they either fired him or he left the project, and they brought somebody else in to write the music. So
apparently Ludwig has some videos on YouTube of the making of Black Panther music, so I might watch it later, just to clear the slate, because I don't know anything about this man.
So my final two, and I think I'll save the better one for last. The first one is That Thing You Do. It's a great soundtrack. Takes place in the 60s. It's directed by Tom Hanks. It's Tom Hanks' first... it's his directorial debut.
I didn't know you directed.
And so...
neither did he until that movie.
The story is about one-hit wonders, very similar to the Beatles, in the 60s, who get signed up to a record company called Playtone. And if that sounds familiar, it's only because Tom Hanks later named his production company Playtone Productions. And that is where My Big Fat Greek Wedding comes from. It's on the Playtone movie production. And so talk about a low budget that made tons of money. But it's got a nice 60s vibe. It's got a nice Beatles vibe. And all the songs are original. It's great. You can rock out to it. I love it. Take a listen. If you haven't, you might surprise yourself. And the final soundtrack that I put on here, because I think, without dispute, if you like the movie, you definitely like the soundtrack. It's hard to argue that this is not a strong soundtrack, is The Greatest Showman.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think...
I mean, I have some problems with it, just personally.
I'm not sure there is a single song on there that is not good. There's one song on there that doesn't seem to fit because it seemed like they just threw a love story in there.
Oh, was that Rewrite the Stars?
Yeah, but even that song is good. It just doesn't really fit the movie.
I can understand that. It's Never Enough. I don't vibe with it. It's good, it's impressive, but I don't...
Well, what makes that song stand out a little bit is that technically it's a song that's not supposed to fit because...
Yeah, I know, but it's just...
Yeah, I mean, so that's kind of a weird one.
It's supposed to be like an opera singer, right? And then they get like this X Factor belter.
Yeah. So...
The song just doesn't fit to me. And I even watched...
It's a song within a movie rather than a song in the movie, if that makes sense.
I feel like it should be the other way around. It's a song in the movie, but not a song within the movie.
Yes.
I feel like that would make sense more.
Yes.
But, I was about to... Yeah, I even watched, like, an actual trained opera singer sing it on YouTube, but it still wasn't impressive to me.
Yeah, they got a pop singer to sing that song, when it's
I
supposed
think
to
it's
be an
just
opera
the
singer.
song. It's supposed to be big. It's supposed to be grand and impactful, and it just didn't hit the mark for me. And everyone's like, "This song is so good. I love it. I'm gonna sing it all the time." Same thing with "This Is Me." It's a good song. It's overused. Everyone sings it as their own pride anthem or whatever. Like, I understand the appeal.
That's kind of how you know you got a good soundtrack, though.
Yeah,
if everybody wants to sing every song there ever was on the soundtrack. Yes, unfortunately, it gets overused. Kind of like Cups from Pitch Perfect.
Yeah.
Oh, everyone's going to make a video about cups. I can do this.
You know my favorite song from the Greatest
cares?
Showman soundtrack, though? From Now On. That is a great ender song.
I want to say that's my second favorite. I really love the, I don't remember what it's called, the Zac Efron and Hugh Jackman when they're in the bar song.
Oh, The Other Side.
The Other Side.
Take it to the other side. That's a good song.
That, I think, is my favorite song on the soundtrack, followed by From Now On.
And we will come back home, and we will come back home.
Fun fact.
Listen to that song.
My first exposure to the movie, knowing it was going to come out, was watching, I think it was on Facebook, of Hugh Jackman explaining that he tore open, he had like a surgery like in his nose, like a sinus or something.
He tore open stitches.
Yeah, he had stitches, and his doctor told him he couldn't sing for like 2 weeks or something like that.
I think that was... Well, I first saw a teaser trailer for it on YouTube in like June. What year did that come out? 2018.
I think it was
2017.
2017.
I feel like it was
Winter of
2017. I think I got the teaser trailer in June that year, and I was like, okay, this looks fake. First of all, this looks like a compilation of movies that just got edited together for a fake teaser trailer. But then that video came out, and it was the workshop video of them singing From Now On. That's what it was. And he tore open his stitches in his nose because of, proper singing technique.
So the reason why he did that, if you don't already know, is that
the song is that good.
They needed to, for lack of a better term, they needed to showcase it for some executives to green light the movie.
And that's how every movie production works.
So
specifically musical movie productions.
So you kind of have to perform it for them. You have to workshop it.
It's where you go through the songs.
Is what she called it.
You go through the plots.
And what really confused me, I thought Jeremy Jordan was going to be in the movie. I wasn't paying attention. I wasn't familiar with the story.
I'm pretty sure he just got paid to be the workshop Zac Efron.
All I know is that Jeremy Jordan, who I knew from Supergirl, so that's how I recognized him, was singing the song. And then Hugh Jackman, I didn't know this at the time, he jumped in to finish the song that was his song. I thought it was not really a duet. I thought it was just... Hey, I'm Jeremy Jordan. I'm going to start it off, and then Hugh Jackman's going to take over.
Like, actually,
then the actual star is going to take over. But Hugh Jackman explained that it was just too important, and he just really got in the feel for it. He just had to start singing.
It was for From Now On, right?
Yeah, it was.
I'm pretty sure, because that song is just that good.
And I wasn't
it's
really.
It's genuinely the best song in the soundtrack.
I saw the movie, I think, a month or two after the actual movie came out because I had gallbladder surgery. And so they went to go...
Christmas 2017.
Rue, Midge, and Mrs. Tig went to go see the movie. And I laid in my bed for 5 days.
Even before the movie came out, I listened to the soundtrack on repeat on YouTube.
Kind of not really sleeping all that well, recovering, and hallucinating. So that was fun.
Man up in the clouds.
That was fun. He wasn't in the clouds.
He was in the clouds.
He wasn't in the clouds.
You told me it was in the clouds, but
no.
It's fine. It's fine. It's your word against mine.
I was half awake. I was half dreaming, half awake. I knew I was laying in the bed, but I was having a dream about being on a football field with a bunch of cheerleaders, and I think I was supposed to be with them as well. And then I'm looking down my hallway, and I see, no offense, a Chinaman peeking his head around the corner going, Tato. And I'm like, and waving at me, and I'm like, what the hell? So I'm dreaming while I know I'm conscious on my bed. I know I'm dreaming about these cheerleaders and a head peeking around the corner waving at me. What the hell?
Anyway.
And then I bootleg watched The Last Jedi.
I saw that one in theaters.
Although the FBI can't prove it, so there you go.
I saw that one in theaters and it just pissed me off. So I'm really
Yeah.
glad that theater was mostly empty because my friend Midge and I were just watching me pace in the back of that theater because it just pissed me off.
It is the only Star Wars movie that I have not seen in the theater.
It's really bad.
And that says something considering that I was born 5 months after Star Wars came out. But then they released the special edition, and so, you know, I was good in 97.
So anyway, from now on, the best song in the fucking soundtrack.
The second best song on the soundtrack.
The best song in the fucking
second best
soundtrack.
song on the soundtrack.
Best song in the soundtrack.
Not if you come over to the other side.
From now on.
From now on,
From now
come
on
to the
is
other
the
side.
best. No.
So there you have it. That is my list of very phenomenal soundtracks. There's more soundtracks out there that are really, really good. Unfortunately, I'm not aware of them. So that's where you come in. Tell us what your favorite soundtracks are.
Far From Home kind of hit.
It did kind of hit. It's actually more exciting than Homecoming, I find.
I don't know what it is. I love Homecoming more than I do Far From Home. It's just how it is. Like, in general, in soundtrack, in general direction, in plot.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
I just love Homecoming.
I mean, we can kind of go on all these other soundtracks that are really strong. Even in musicals. I mean, Mamma Mia is pretty strong only because it's all ABBA. So how can you can those songs be bad? They've been around longer than, of course, the musical has.
What?
Yeah. Amazing.
That makes so much sense.
How's that? How is that? Some people may include the Beatles with.
You're talking about Yesterday?
No, not Yesterday. The Beatles had one or two movies out there. Hard Day's Night, I think, is one of them. So Beatles.
I've been wanting to watch
Beatles were
Yesterday.
legendary, so I mean, there you go. People who love Elvis may have some Elvis soundtracks that they think is really good and really the best. I can't dispute it because I don't know Elvis movies, let alone the soundtracks of those movies. So there's tons of stuff out there, and there's tons of really good artists. I mean, maybe James Horner Jumanji may be on your list. The James Horner Titanic might be on your list, but but hey, what do you do? Let us know. Go to our Facebook page, or you can leave a comment here on our YouTube channel. Please like and subscribe. Please share with people. We really would like to have more input on what people like to listen to, what they like to watch, what they like about this show. And maybe you could join us in a sing-along with this one, because she likes to sing in every episode. Or, a little bit more visceral.
Next time we need to talk about
a burp-along.
B&A.
What?
Brand new animal from Netflix. It's an anime. Very good.
What?
Brand new animal.
Never heard of it.
That's because it's new.
Aha! I knew there was something about it.
Brand new animal.
I knew there was something about it.
Anyway, very good. I just finished watching it.
So next episode,
4 days ago, it was very good.
Get ready, because we're going to talk about Hamilton. If you don't like Hamilton, too bad, because we're going to talk about Hamilton. I have not seen it. She's seen it.
I saw a bootleg of it back in when it came out.
Mrs. Tig has seen it. Everyone and their mama has seen it. I have yet to have seen it.
We'll watch it.
We will watch it. We will watch it in the next couple days.
Because I haven't watched the officially archival release version on Disney+.
And we'll get my take on it.
Which is another thing. Make Broadway shows more accessible to the general public. Release those archive tapes.
Or just have a cable network that shows Broadway stuff.
Oh my god, like Broadway HD?
Yeah, but actually
disgusting.
on table. On table. Just put it on the table, man. Broadway Monopoly.
Yes. Yes.
There probably is a Broadway.
There's
Monopoly.
not enough theaters in New York, but if we do Broadway and West End,
or just put it on cable,
and then London.
Why do we have to wait for these Broadway musicals to be turned into bad movies for us to actually see it?
Thank you. That's all we've been saying.
Like, why?
I'm not going to take an entire trip out to... Well, I will, but I'm not going to take an entire trip out to New York just to watch one Broadway show and go home.
No, 6 maybe.
I'm not going to travel
But not
across
one.
the
Who do you think we are?
I'm not going to travel across the country.
If we're going to splurge, we're going to splurge hard, yo.
We're going to watch Mean Girls.
We're going to splurge so hard, we're going to be like
We
a
would watch
sponge.
Beetlejuice, but they were kicked out.
They were kicked out.
For Hugh Jackman and the Music Man.
Oh, gosh, dang. What was I about to say? Oh! So...
Anyway, but we got to let you go.
I'm not the type of person that overly loves something, and I'm not the type of person that bashes needlessly.
But I am.
I will give you my honest opinion, and if my honest opinion sounds harsh, that's because it's my honest opinion.
We gotta go, though. Sorry.
I don't do it because I hate. I mean, if I really hate something, I'm going to give you some critical, constructive criticism as to why I hate that thing. And if I love it, I'll be like, yeah, it was really good. I enjoyed it.
I could do that with May and Zuko from Avatar: The Last Airbender.
And I can do that with mayonnaise.
I could do that with
Yeah.
mushroom,
Wait, did you say Manzuko?
May, and Zuko.
Oh, I said Manzuko. It's like, who the heck is Manzuko?
I could do that with May and Zuko.
Manzuko, man, the
I
way
actually do have a bit.
he's a leather bender. What? Was this something I said? Was that something wrong? Did I say something wrong? Did I say something inappropriate? I don't even know. Alright, well, we're going to wrap up this episode. Bye, guys. You left your mug.